Are we live?
I bet it's bleak.
Shout out roulette, I'm on the set. Aight, check the traps, no regrets. Word on the street, DanYo&Tita, they doing things. Yeah, these other podcasts ain't the same. The lean perspective, keep the community updated. The sister social, keeping the beautiful upgraded. I'ma keep it kosher, the lack of support got me irritated. I'm feeling obligated, voice of the streets and incarcerated. Yeah, DanYo&Tita. Yeah, DanYo&Tita. Yeah, DanYo&Tita. Yeah, DanYo&Tita.
Are we live? Are we live?
Live. It's the DanYo&Tita podcast. We back. Episode
27?
26.
26.
26.
I'm get ahead of myself?
Yeah, you are.
Man.
Damn.
That's an old man.
I'm Danyo.
I'm Tia. Aisha.
Oh,
I'm Dip.
there you go. Look at that. We got special guests in the building, y'all. We started a little early. We had a little behind the scenes. Y'all see, you know what I'm saying? Don't know what we was talking about.
All type crazy shit. Who knows?
We have a
Honored
legend
guest.
in the building.
Definitely a legend.
A legend who sets the bar.
Sets the bar.
A
Definitely.
lot of these new cats don't know. I think they don't know.
Man, they better know,
My
man.
man's a lyricist too.
Man. He set the foundation for Arizona, man.
Oh,
I mean,
Man.
the first to do a lot of
Tell
things
him, Dip.
that most of these people have not done. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
Facts.
definitely he set the bar
Yep.
for all these MCs.
The host of the BEATLOCKER on 101.1 The
Right,
Beat.
which gives a lot of MCs a door and a platform so people can hear their music.
Definitely gave me a platform. I got two
Right.
joints back to back on there.
He definitely
Early days.
definitely gave me a platform.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
So,
So, hey,
you know what I mean?
you know what I'm saying?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we got Pokafase in the building, y'all.
Hey,
All that.
pleasure to be here.
Last show of the year. We get the interview. That's dope.
Last show of the decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
This is
this is
insane.
definitely
Yeah, man.
Oh, we starting off dope then.
Man.
I appreciate it, man. It's an honor to be here.
Man.
Real talk, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you taking your time out and coming on to the podcast and everything. And
Yeah, for sure.
this
man.
is dope, right? I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
hell yeah, it's dope as fuck.
It
man.
feels, you know, I know you interviewed so many artists. Now you know, it's kind of flip for you.
You know,
right
it's
here.
good to be on this side of the,
It's good.
of the table. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this shit. I had to punch no clock or nothing. I'm
Right.
good. You know what I mean?
Definitely. We got our little buttons. You know what I mean?
So real quick,
Oh, it's 3, 4.
All right.
We want you to speak your mind on this. show.
the FM shit. You know,
Yeah,
they got me conditioned.
This is a podcast. You can speak.
speak your mind.
Yeah,
Man. You want to hear the truth.
Drop a lot of F-bombs around
Definitely, Dip.
here.
He be going in.
I definitely
Dip's a
do.
monster.
I definitely do.
Man, let's talk about I want to go back. What's on your earlier career when you were MCing?
Oh, okay.
Let's start over that.
You know, it's a
direction.
trip because I run into so many folks that only know me from radio.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know, and I'm always appreciative, but I always feel like, you know, I watch your favorite rapper, right? You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm the old radio nigga.
What you
That's
say? Your baby mama's favorite? Yeah, that's when I, you know, when we got the interview with you, I was like, there's a lot of young cats that don't know you was
Man.
killing out here.
Man, I appreciate it, man.
It still is killing out, but you know,
You
MC
know,
level.
I just now it's fun. You know, you always get the itch. You know, once an MC, always an MC.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I reached the point where it was time to start helping other folks.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I was blessed to enjoy a lot of success early on, and to me, the measure of success is how many people you can pull across the finish line.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying? So, you know, it just seemed like the natural progression of things to be where I'm at now.
Right.
But I still kill a nigga on
Oh,
the.
no. Yeah, gunshot that right there. Were you still making music when you made that transition to the radio, or was it?
So yeah, man. Shit, so it's been a long time in the game, right? So you know, I had some loss. You know what I mean? I lost Proof in 2006,
right?
Yeah, and that kind of shook shit up for me a little bit,
right?
So I honed in on radio a little bit more, and then you know, got into a few other situations, signed a couple other deals, and some beautiful things happened. But I had kind of slowed up on making music. It'd become a chore. You know, it just wasn't fun like it used to be.
Right.
I was doing it with a heavy heart.
Yeah.
So you know, the music, it didn't feel as good as the music I was making before.
Right.
And when that happens, man, you gotta take a step back.
Right.
So how did you end up meeting Proof, and how did that come together?
And I met Proof at random in I think it's DoubleTree hotel room. The year him and M came out to do the Warped Tour.
Wow.
And we had actually opened for M earlier at Club Rio.
Okay.
And somehow it came up, and my producer at the time, Fade, happened to run into M and Proof. And next thing you know, he called me like, "Hey, you should probably come to this hotel room right now.
Right.
Whatever you're doing, just stop." And I'm
it.
like, "Yeah, all right." You know, and so I get there, and P is there, and you know, he's literally freestyling about everything in the room. Everybody is seamless. You can't tell if the nigga wrote it or not. And I'm like, man, who is this nigga? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I'm thinking M's gonna be here, but who's this nigga that's rapping like M? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, man, we just kind of hit it off. From there, we wound up floating around Warped Tour with them, and we're inseparable for the better part of 8 years.
Damn.
So late 98, 99, I want to say is when we got with them. So maybe close to 7.
Wow. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I knew
he was a good dude, man. He took me under his wing as he did a lot of us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The dope thing about Proof is everybody that fuck with Proof will tell you the same thing. Like, yeah, man, you know, P really took me in. And so, you know what I'm saying? Because he's that kind of dude. So, you know, it was a big loss losing Proof.
That was
you know?
That situation was a crazy situation that happened to him. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Proof on there.
So yeah, that was a pivotal moment. You know what I'm saying? I lost my cousin about 3 months after that, and I was done with 2006. You know, I lost a baby, I think, somewhere in there too. You know what I'm saying? That was a rough year. But yeah, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Along came BeatLocker. One day I just I was always at the radio stations, you know, ever since I was over at Power. You know, banging on doors. How could
right.
And they were getting, everybody was tired of hearing from me. You know, oh, Pug, what's the meeting about? You know what the meeting's about, nigga. You know what I'm saying? There's 200 artists out here. We ain't playing none of these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? How come we ain't playing nobody?
Right.
Give me an hour. There's no music out here. Give me an hour. Give me a fucking hour. You know what I'm saying? So,
what year were you over there at Power?
So
another thing, a lot of people don't know you was over there.
Yeah, I was over at Power from 04 to 09.
04 to 09?
Yeah. Wow. And, you know, I didn't respect the radio game the way I should back then, because I'd enjoyed all my success in music.
Right.
And so, you know, it was, there were some things that I probably could have done different.
Right.
To make the Power thing a better experience. I learned everything I learned about radio over there. It was one of the best periods of my career. I learned a lot from J.3 and Sugar Bear and Nuts on the Air. Like, Jake, man, I just want to say where it's documented and recorded, man. J.3, I think the city did not value Jay enough while he was here.
That's facts.
Man, that's,
you know what I'm saying?
Factual.
For people don't understand the behind the scenes of radio and the climate at the time and how much bullshit there was and all the local promoter shit.
Right.
And none of the program directors give a fuck about Arizona hip hop or the scene at all. And so for Jay to do what he did and to be so successful at it and to be able to create as many opportunities as he did for cats was really an amazing thing. You know, a lot of people like, you know, Jay bullshit. He was corny. He did it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, Jay was jockeying for the town.
He was riding.
Yeah.
There was just only, you know, a very small crack to push through. You know, and he did his own music. So you can't be mad at him for pushing himself through the door first.
Nah, man. He was doing big things, man.
But I learned how to do radio from J.3.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to that man too.
Jason Atlanta.
He's in Atlanta now. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Maybe I bet they loving him over there right now. Yeah.
Jay, he gonna do well wherever he's at. He's a go getter.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so yeah, I was over at Power, man, and did a lot of great things over there.
How'd you get in the door in Power? Or how'd you even get it?
So I was always kind of part of the Friday Night Flavors crew. They always spun our music, you know, back when I was with No Question, they were spinning our music.
Okay.
Lil Sean and Squeak and Matlock, so my guys like heavy.
Okay. Shout out to Matlock. That's the homie right there.
That's the OG. So you know what? Everything else I learned about radio, I learned from Matlock. So it's fair to say that between J3 and Matlock's, they the reason Pokafase is successful in radio.
Man.
The Nuts in the Morning gave me my shot.
Wow.
Okay.
I was tired of because I'd had a few records played on Power, you know, and I'd made good rotation. I was just sick of the bullshit, man, the politics. So I just went down there one day and filled out an application.
Wow.
And I was sitting in there, you know, I got on my jewelry on and shit. And they looking at me like, you know, what the fuck is he doing? I'm steady filling it out. And I want to say Jay Filler came down and he happened to see me. He's like, what the fuck you doing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was like, man, I'm trying to get on the radio. How the fuck do I get in?
So
you know,
I'm changing things right here.
And he's like, what you want to do? I'm like, be on the air. You know what you think? I'm not here to sweep. You know but he was like, you know, have you ever done it before? I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. I can do this shit. You know, I'd never. You know what I mean?
That's what you gotta say.
Yeah, you know, fake it till you make it. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, you know, are you sure you can do this? I was like, man, I freestyle for thousands of people on stage. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? If I could do that off top, then where nobody's watching, I got this. You know what I'm saying? And so I lied about knowing the boards and all that shit. And he was like, I tell you what, if you can convince Bruce St. James, then the Nuts will back you. You know what I'm saying? And so me and Bruce already had a relationship just from No Question and me banging on his door to get on the radio at Power. And Bruce was like, you know what, man, fuck it. Let's give you a shot.
That's dope. That's dope.
So I interned with an 18-year-old DJ named Nick Knack. Shout out to Nick Knack. And where I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. He kind of held up the ground. He's like, nah, over here. I'm like, yeah, that's right. This button, right? Yeah. Right. So I just kind of learned on the fly, man.
That's dope.
Man, that's dope as fuck, man.
Man, we need to put the application like
man. I'm like, we need to start filling out, man.
Yeah.
You know what, man? Sometimes, like, I've always lived by, man, you gotta just fucking go for it. Sometimes you just gotta ask. You know, they might say no, they might say yes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Can't be afraid of no answers. You know, keep going.
And I'm convinced, man, that you can sell anything as long as you got conviction in your pitch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
definitely.
You know, you can't go in there.
Know how to sell yourself.
Yeah.
Fuck
yeah, I can do radio. Let's do it, baby.
Let's do it.
Show me the
I do this for a living.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
I've been doing this for years. That's dangerous.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
It's nothing.
I was born doing this.
So, you know,
Look.
How do you feel like at this time, you know, you got two people from the community, like you got a Two-Tone and Ballin' the Great. They're now on a Power in positions to help out the local talent on this. So how do you feel about their growth?
So I'm super proud of both of them.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I've watched Tone for years and do his thing and you know, kind of up, down, and kind of settle in. And, you know, same with Marlon. I think they're both really good guys.
Definitely.
I think that it's monumental to have four niggas on the radio.
Right.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Out here. That know the culture, that have the respect to the scene to whatever degree, you know what I'm saying? That shit is like, it's unheard of.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, it's a shame still that we counting black folks in radio, but but we're counting higher.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? We're counting higher than we used to.
When the numbers are so minuscule, that's what you do, though.
You know, but honestly, all in all, I think it's a blessing. You know, they are on the other side of the street, right?
Right, yeah.
It is what it is. Shout out to Matt Rich too. You know, I really think that me and Rich work together at Power. And I think that what Rich has done in his perseverance all the way through and just holding it down and sticking to his guns and getting his show to where it is. There's something to be said for all of it. So
shout out to Matt Rich. Man, Rich, do an interview over here, man.
Yeah, man.
He's humble though. He's like, man,
Rich don't
talk a lot, man.
You know, he don't, but he's a good guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he's not curving niggas. He really just ain't.
Yeah, he's honest about it.
He'd rather be on that vinyl. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I will say this. It's huge for the city to have these outlets.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of people think there's a lot of funk and a lot of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And granted, there are radio politics, you know, and there's some things that I would love to be able to do on my station that I can't because of how that shit works. But when I started the BeatLocker, the whole point of starting the BeatLocker was less about pat Pokafase on the back. It was more about let's provide an outlet and an opportunity, right? And by doing so, we're going to force everybody else to follow suit.
Definitely.
Because the name of the game is you got to stay competitive and you can't give that niche up to anybody.
Right.
So if we could convince the Beat to give us some airtime, the other show is bound to happen on other stations, right? Because they have to. They have to. So now, whether they like it or not, you got to play some local shit, right? So we were able to force their hand, right? And then, you know, you have your Respect the Undergrounds. You have your Support District Radio. Shout out to Amanda over there. The team.
Support District, shout out to Icon.
My Radio Icon, what Patrice does over at My Radio Phoenix. There's all these other outlets, you guys, of course, ArizonaMixtapes.com. And so as all these things ripple outward, right, it creates a space where now the scene can't exist without it. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so people will rush to replace it, and that effort will be made to make sure that there's always these kind of installments. And that was my goal. Now I feel like, well, shit, I'll start making music again, and you know, you niggas take it from here. You know what I mean? No, not really. But you know what I'm saying, though. You know what I mean? So I feel like mission accomplished, and now everything else has just been gravy.
Man.
You know?
So you basically are the reason that Arizona hip hop's on FM.
I appreciate that.
They're gonna give it to you.
You know what? Shout out your J.Times.3, your Matlocks, who were really, if y'all knew the uphill battle niggas faced to play a few records on Friday Night Flavors, right? Just to have one or two cats come in and freestyle, you know, for Jay to get his records on and put Leo the Don on and a couple other cats during that period. Shit is like I love just amazing to be able to get that done because there were so many people working against it. You know, you had jocks that had nothing to lose or gain. Like, we ain't fucking with. But I'm like, nigga, why the fuck aren't you? You know what I'm saying? You know, if we start turning over DJ tables and whooping your motherfucking ass at these events, bet y'all start playing some records, right? Or crying about it. You know, but of course there was a better way to do it, so we did it that way.
Man. You know? And like I always say though, man, J.Times.3 brought me on. I freestyled on the radio, and that was inspirational for me. To start my career and start rapping and feeling that I could go on to do something. So like I said, he was a big part of the culture here, man. And people need to realize that, man. As I always talk about, there's no culture here, but these are the cultural moments of Arizona that's being built and need to be celebrated. These are the achievements that we are accomplishing and need to be celebrated.
And I'm so glad you said that, man. You know what? Because a lot of people talk about there's no culture, there's no scene. Truth is, we're just in a different stage of it. Definitely. You know, at one point, New York was right here where we are. You know what I'm saying? At one point, LA was trying to figure this shit out like we are. You know, the black, brown. What is our sound? Is it this Latino shit? Is it this underground shit? Is this gang? Right? Everybody goes through that trying to find their identity. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what we're in.
Yeah, we to me we are through the infantile stages now to the point where we got a legitimate scene. Right. I used to be able to count the viable artists on one hand. And now there's too many to count. There's too many,
definitely.
And then real quick, you know, Matlocks, Squeak Boogie, and Lil Sean back in the Friday Night Flavors days broke so much ground as far as what they were doing. You know, even just throwing some bones to some local artists just out in the street, just that credibility helped to build and gave people faith in the scene, man. Definitely. So Friday Night Flavors is a big part of everything too.
Like I said, I think it was I don't remember 2012 or 13. I don't remember what year it was, but I remember I sent you some records and you played them. Matter of fact, I sent a record and I didn't edit it all the way. And you edited it for me. I sent a record to you and you edited it for me. And I remember I didn't have no radio at the time. I'm like, give me a radio, something. Give me your keys, your car. You know what I'm saying? I was pumped. You know, I was like, give me your keys, your car. I sat in that car at the nighttime and I sat there and you played back to back my songs. Man, I was pumped. You know? It's just that feeling. You know, I appreciate you for that, man.
Oh man,
I know. Deal with the you know. At that time, you played your record. I know you
Yeah,
was
had your records on,
man.
And that's, you know what, man, I will never ever forget how I felt the first time I heard my song.
Yeah, just
you know what I mean. It was like I felt like, oh shit, I made
it.
Yeah, that's me. Turn it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it's just it's you know, I've always been a fan of radio, disc jockeys as well. Just radio with sense. I used to have like a little cassette tape and put a little tissue in there, record. Like I have my own radio show, so to see it happen, you know, I was pumped. So I appreciate that.
Oh man, for sure, man. It's a blessing to be able to give people that same moment. You know what I'm saying? Like I know, if nothing else, I know what that moment right there means. You know what I'm saying? So you go to bed like, I'll be damned. Yeah, it was a good day.
It was good.
But I'm happy that you made us work for it. You know what I'm saying? And we campaigned you. and I always appreciate that for you, man, because you know, it never makes shit easy, because you know, some people think that you're just gonna get things just because you're there and you're doing things. You have to work for things, man, and you have to make your voice be heard. You know what I'm saying? And make people see you, because people just not gonna just see you just because you're doing music. It's a million motherfuckers doing music. What you gonna do to get the attention of these people? How you gonna, like you said, you was knocking on their door. People not going that far. I wanted to go that far and knock on the radio door, but I didn't have the balls to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what, man? It's a lot of people. I catch some shit. You know what I'm saying? Be like, oh, that nigga Poke don't fuck with us. Blah blah blah. So the value, to keep value with the show, we have to screen as our program director does.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And so I make cats jump through the hoop sometimes, because if you go out of state and you go knock on V106 or you at WJLB or you at Power, right? You have to go through a process to submit music. You got to court the program director. You need to give the music director. They need to see your movement. They need to understand your project.
Right.
Is your music available? Do you have a follow-up? You know what I'm saying? Are you really on your shit?
Right.
And so if we just start, you know, if we don't hold cats to a certain standard, one, the integrity of the show goes to shit.
Definitely.
But more importantly, we're not teaching cats the proper way to do it.
Right.
And you know, one thing I would say is, I was doing music in the age of no social media,
right?
Which dates me, time stamps me.
That makes you a legend.
But you know, it was a different game,
right?
And so cats feel like the path should be paved, you know, because social media will make you feel that way.
Definitely.
100 likes makes a nigga feel like Jay-Z. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, 100 likes. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to get 1% return on that at your show. You know what I'm saying? So you're talking about one person maybe for every 100 likes, right? So, you know, it's not a matter of us being snooty, because I've gotten that before. Oh, you niggas hip-hop snobs. Oh, you only fuck with these niggas as a clique. Nah, man, just send the best record in. I'll tell you a secret. Without sounding crass, you know, because obviously we love the scene and everybody in it. We don't give a fuck who's sending the record in. If the record is hot, it can be from your auntie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna play the hottest records.
Yeah.
And so artists that are already in, once you submitted good music, you've established a relationship with the radio.
Right.
And we want to help people cultivate that. So it is a lot easier for you if you call me, say I got a new record, you call me, say I got a new record. I'm gonna say, oh, yeah, they already hit us with some quality shit. So let's see what they got going. Let's continue to support what they're doing.
Right.
But if you Joe Blow and you just throwing records against the wall, I feel like I don't hate you. I don't hate your movement. I just didn't like that record.
Right.
Send me another one. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get it on when the right record comes.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
and like I said, with me making my music, I seen a couple people records that just didn't work. You know, that wasn't the best record. So I got to go back and say, let me analyze this project and pick the best that it's going to be commercially successful.
The quality,
or whatever,
everything.
You know? And it makes better artists, man. I tell you a story. Dr. Dre. So I was in Dre's studio. I was at we were over at Record One, I believe it was. And it was like an all-star cast of fucking people there. I mean, like Exhibit, Proof, M, Snoop was there, Jelly Roll, Hitman. There's a bunch of niggas there, right? And little old me, you know, my producer Fade, you know, and we had just signed with Artist Direct, and I had a CD with 6 records on it. So we had sat there, man. I was there. I was trying to be as quiet as I could so they would forget I was there, just so I could soak up the game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so probably after about 8 or 9 hours there, everybody started to fade. And I was like, if you still gonna be in here, Dre, I'd love to just be a fly on the wall. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, you know what, man, fuck it, you can chill. So I'm like, oh, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep composed and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then they started, just be twisted up. So now I'm blown, and now I'm really extra paranoid and shit. So I got the balls up to be like, hey man, can I play a couple records for you? Right? Yeah. And the nigga said, yeah. So I'm like, oh shit. You know, you're gonna say, yeah, you know what I mean? So I start, boom, you puff up when you start to play your music, and you know what I'm saying? So I sit up straight, boom, track one, and he's like, nah. I mean, like, dang, 25 seconds in, I'm like, nuh-uh. Are you sure? Are you sure? No, you know what I'm saying? Second record, same thing. Third record, he's like, that's cool.
Started to lose faith. I'm like, by the third time.
Right? I got to the fifth record, and he was like, no, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. That right there is you should have played me 6 of those. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Didn't like the last record, but it crushed me a little bit because I thought I had 6 bangers. Yeah. But that honest opinion, especially coming from somebody I respect, and somebody telling you, nah, go back to the drawing board. Not that I hate you or I hate your music. That just ain't it. Right. That one right there is just duplicate that. Right. So it was a learning moment. It's funny. Some of the biggest lessons I've taken away have been when I was crushed. Right. You know what I'm saying? But it made a nigga get up, dust himself off, and keep moving. Definitely. You know what I mean? So it's a trip. Common curved me one time too, and I was
dang, this is
man. I hit the nigga. I'm like, let me spit 16. He's like, we had just opened for him, right? And he's like, I don't really. I'm like, come on, man, I got that heat. You know what I'm saying? Give me 16. Let me give you 16. He's like, give me 16. So I spit, and I'm like, and the nigga was like,
Wow.
I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It's cool, man. Keep working at it,
Wow.
He turned around and walked off, and I was like, okay.
Better get one of these.
Guess what? That would never happen. And it never did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's a lesson learned, man.
This is dope. You still had the balls to do that shit. I don't think I would have did that.
You don't think you would have did it?
Fuck nah, man. When the freestyle for that dude,
and it was early on. That was back when he was Common Sense.
Wow.
Oh, that's the hot comment.
No question. We opened for him at the Roxy, and
that's crazy.
So if that tells you how long ago, right?
So
yeah, man, you had balls, man.
Most definitely
gumption. That's why you go places in life, man. You don't go nowhere until you take those steps and shit.
All these niggas bleed red blood
for real. They know one.
They all bleed red blood.
Don't be intimidated.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? All of them done pissed themselves at one point in their life.
Right.
Probably get cussed out by their wife like everybody else.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
I remember how long ago, a year ago, you dropped a video talking about the scene, about how artists, they want support, but they're not supporting the outlets.
Right.
I want that rant that you did right now.
Well, you know what, man? This shit is a two-way street, right? This is a relationship game.
Yeah.
Everybody think it's a give and take, and it is to a certain extent, but it's a relationship game, right?
Definitely.
And people it's all about reciprocity.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Just everything. And so, when you send records, I tell you the quickest way for me to burn a nigga all the way off my radar, until a later date, is for me to have picked a record of theirs that we like and to spin it. And then the nigga hit me like, hey man, Poke, when you gonna get my shit on, man? Can I get some play, man? And they can't get no love. I'm like, nigga, I've been playing your song for 3 fucking weeks.
You ain't even listening to the show.
You ain't even supporting the show.
Right.
We the only fucking show with the exception of one other on FM.
Yeah.
Right. So if nothing else, if you never go listen to the radio, listen for 2 hours on Sunday, turn the motherfucker on and go do something else. Right. If nothing else, to keep the show in play. Right. Because even if it's not your record today, it could be your record tomorrow.
Right.
If ain't no show, then it's nobody's record. You know what I'm saying? And cats getting their feelings, and I get it. Right. I get it. You enjoy a little bit of success. You feel like, well, I've moved on to the next level. I'm on this tier now. Right. I deserve X, Y, Z. Yeah. And the truth is, you don't deserve shit.
Nothing.
Right. Nobody owes anybody anything, but if you are part of the scene and you believe in the person, then you owe it to them to show your support. Right. Maybe that's about it.
That's it. Man.
And so, if niggas ain't listening to the show, right, or will only listen for the 5 minutes their song is on,
right,
then it does nobody any good. It's self-serving, and I feel like, okay, go serve yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We'll do without you.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from I'm playing your record and you ain't listening,
right.
Hey, can you tell me exactly what time you're gonna play my record? Oh, nigga, listen to the show.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You might accidentally learn something or hear your music or start to understand your competition.
Right.
Or maybe you'll get a better idea of what we're looking for when we add records to rotation, right? But if you're not listening, you're taking a whole bunch of shots in the dark, and eventually you're gonna irritate the shit out of me, and I'm gonna stop answering your texts and your emails, and
I remember
come back and revisit in 6 months. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I remember when you play my records, I got played for like 2 months. You know what I'm saying? But I listened to the show. I wasn't just my song coming to cut off. But I listened to it because at that time I think I fully got into the hip hop culture. I felt bad for a couple of years. I came out here 2009, so I felt bad for a couple of years. Who is who? But your show helped me. Oh, this is this cat over here. This is that cat over here. It's a networking thing.
Yeah,
so I know who these people are now off their music and all that. So
and know your opponent, man. Right?
Yeah,
I always preach. We are not each other's competition out here. If you're doing music, your competition right now is Drake.
Right.
Yeah.
Your competition right now is motherfucking Roddy Rich.
Right.
Right. It's Migos. It's the niggas that are doing what you are trying to do.
Definitely.
And they are occupying the spot you want to be in.
Right.
And the only way to get there is to knock that nigga off or create a new lane or spot.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
If you focusing solely on the nigga in Glendale, then you're only ever going to be as big as the spot you're trying to overtake.
That's real.
Right.
Yeah.
That's real.
By the same token, if you don't understand the scene and what you up against,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know how much better you need to be to get that look. Right. So I mean, there's so much more that goes into it. People kind of compartmentalize this hip hop shit, especially from an artist perspective. I like to do shows. I like to fuck bitches after the shows. Excuse my French, lady. My apologies. Speaking in artist jargon right now, right?
Yeah.
I like to get, take pictures afterwards. I love people to tell me they like my song.
Right.
But then that's where it stops.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And then that burns out and you need a recharge. So you go back, you do something else, right? To get that bump again. And then that burns out. Instead of keeping that consistency throughout all the way, right? And sewing those moments together so that you now are creating a real career. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I could preach all day, but niggas don't want to hear it.
No.
The ones that do, they take it and run with it. And we see who's successful and who's making moves out here.
Most definitely.
And the ones that don't, man, God bless them.
The support comes up every episode. I mean, we either not supporting Willie North Pole and his album situation.
Yeah, shout out to Willie and Dark Nation.
Yeah, we didn't.
They were just up here.
Right. So it's like that's what it comes back to all the time. We don't support. So we want to cry about nobody coming from Phoenix. Well, if we don't buy it and we don't support these artists, how are they going to make it out?
Yeah.
We have to put our people on the pedestal and start putting our artists on the pedestal, start putting our people who are giving these artists platforms on the pedestal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That is
What
the
is
name of the
New
game.
York, they put their DJs, you know how they talk about their DJs? You know how they talk about their artists?
DJs?
Right. And all these people,
Man.
the Detroit, St. Louis, they love their DJs. They love their radio station.
Yeah.
We don't show the same love out here. And until we do that, we're not going to have the same platforms or the same people coming trying to give us the money to come out here.
It's some super frustrating shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it reminds me of the current political climate, right? People have all the power, right? We can change a whole lot of shit.
Right.
We just don't.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? The difference between Texas and Arizona is Texas supports their artists.
Right.
Definitely.
Nigga can go platinum in Texas.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The difference between the deep South, the dirty South, Alabama, Mississippi, Atlanta, they support them.
Right.
They go to the shows, they buy the music.
Right.
That's what they bump. They
Right.
wear their clothing lines.
Yeah,
right.
Flip, I remember I interviewed Flip. He was pushing 200, 300,000 before
Right.
the deal.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But even more importantly, and I think this is where a big disconnect out here is, and it's starting to bridge a little bit,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
The DJs support the artists.
Right.
And out here, the DJs are on some Phoenix shit for the most part, right? And I don't mean Phoenix music shit. I mean the I'm DJing Scottsdale, or I got this club locked down. I've done a few gigs out of town. I'm bigger than the scene. The niggas should know and respect me.
Right.
Why should I play your record? Nigga, you should play your record because you're from the town, right? And because if fucking Roddy Ricch submits you a record and DanYo submits you a record that's just as hot, it should be a no-brainer which one you put in, right? Who gives a fuck about who knows what? All music is unfamiliar before you hear it and get a vibe for it. So anytime people start talking about that unfamiliar music, unsolicited shit, it's bullshit.
It is.
It's their way of saying, hey, I favor the niggas that are paying the money and greasing the pockets to get the records where they need to be. And rather than doing what's right and playing the hottest record, I'm going to play who's passing me the 50 or who slipped me a $300 gift card or whatever the case may be. And it's all the way through the industry. It's all over the place. And as soon as that shit evens itself out, we'll be fine. The DJs are starting to catch on here. You got your John Blazes, you know what I'm saying? Your DJ Charlies, your DJ Marbles, your Matt Richies that are out here that really are trying to cultivate the scene and get the music out. You know, and then you got motherfuckers that sit in the strip club and they think they hot shit because they Serato some records together for a few girls to kick ball chain to. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, do your thing. You hot in your strip club. You know what I'm saying? You keep being hot right there in the club. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, fuck them. That's just me. For real.
As far as the radio market.
Wait, shout out to Emerge McVeigh, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's one of the only
as far as
OG.
As far as the market. Because you know, I do a lot of the concerts. I work at the concerts, and I see country music come in, pop music come in, hip hop come in. A lot of the hip hop shows don't be packed. That's the country music and the pop shows.
Yeah. What's
the market out here in Arizona as far as hip hop music? Where are we at?
On
the demographic on the list.
My opinion, it's so demographically. It's rough out here when you bring in concerts because there's a low concentration. I can't even say that. Well, because all the damn outlets and shit prefer white pop music. Right. I mean, if I'm just going to be frank. And so if you bring a hip hop concert, the venues want to charge you a little more. They want more on security. They want extra deposits. And quite frankly, hip hop artists have inflated their prices so high that it doesn't work in Arizona. Wow. So if you want to bring anybody of stature, you really are rolling the dice to say you're going to make some money, right? Because the crowd is so fickle. Niggas want, you know, far be it for me to snap on somebody for getting their money, right? Get your money. Niggas pay it, get your money. By the same token, if you want to do consistent business, then your price has to make sense in the market. Right? If I go to Sioux Falls, fucking South Dakota, and I want 70,000 for a show, and there's 20,000 hip hop heads there. Of that, 5% may come of that, right? The numbers starts to not make sense.
The promoters doesn't make money,
and so you know, I think there's just I think everything kind of needs to be realigned and recalibrated. Now, of course, that means one person has to decide to take less money to make it start to make sense. Nobody will do that, right? The game might require that by people not coming to shows, and they start seeing that the numbers are not adding up, and promoters are not asking me to come. So people will realign their numbers when they start seeing that shit. Because you know, it's a good day when the Arizona Hip Hop Festival attracts more people than your average, you know, B to A- lister. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the pendulum is swinging the right way. Now it's just, you know, it's just getting everybody kind of back on track. So many people are living the superficial part of it. You know what I'm saying? That it's more about flash than content and consistency and substance. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And so I think that's reflective in the crowds. I think people would rather be at international paying $700 a bottle than actually at the artist concert that they drinking the $700 bottle listening to. You know what I'm saying? Which is, you know,
is that the same way as far as radio goes, as far as the listener?
So as far as
is there a lot of hip hop listeners, or you know, from the country music to pop, as far as
I think hip hop listeners are loyal to their hip hop stations. The crossover really happens at pop, right? So you get cats that love Tyga, but also love Jonas Brothers, right? I don't think you really lose anything there. Everything's pretty compartmentalized,
right?
If anything, the genres are starting to bleed a lot. You know, Lil Nas X fucked everybody's heads up. You know what I'm saying? With Hotel Road, like, whoa,
I didn't know what was going on with that.
The last nigga that did that was Nelly. You know what I'm saying? Really, you know what I'm saying? Him and Tim McGraw, which, in my opinion, is smart as shit. I can't knock it. You know what I'm saying? If there's a way to start blending the genres so that you can appeal to more folks and, kick down the borders and erase the lines so that the music reaches more people, fuck yeah. Most definitely. Go do a polka record. If you can touch 2 million polka lovers, nigga, go do a polka hip hop record. What's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, that's just, again, that's my opinion. You're purist to say, fuck that. You know, I feel like if you're doing music to succeed as an artist and be successful and make money, then you have to try to appeal to as many people as possible.
That's the mission. That's the mission, but that's the hard thing to do. You know what I'm saying? It's the appeal to the masses. You know what I mean? And how to appeal to the masses. If you can figure that out, and if someone from Phoenix can figure that out, you know what I'm saying? What do you think is the blueprint for artists to become a platinum selling artist just within Phoenix? I mean, there's what?
You have to appeal to white folks and Hispanic people.
Okay. Yeah.
For Phoenix, Arizona. The problem that black hip hop artists have in Phoenix, Arizona is we assume that Phoenix, Arizona is a black hip hop market.
Right. It's not.
They don't give a shit about what New York is playing, right? Or what they're playing in Atlanta. It doesn't work out here.
Right.
And so you have to think in terms of your demographic. And radio out here is run by 16 to 21-year-old Hispanic females.
Right.
That's one thing.
13 to 19. You know
wow,
what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
That's one thing I agree on. Tone was talking about. You know, the demo. It's the the Hispanic is heavy out here.
Definitely.
For example, Baby Bash, right? Come out here, sell out every time.
They love him.
Every time.
Bone Thugs and Harmony, every time.
They love him.
Tech 9,
they love him
every time, right? They figured out, hey, you know what? This is what's testing well, right? This is what's testing well in these markets. These are the people that love me. These are the records they love.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep giving those people that music. Yeah. And a lot of people think you can just. Some people can, right? You can get your Beyonce who can drop any record anywhere and appeals to everybody, right?
Right.
But if you're smart and you really using social media and the analytics to your advantage, then you dropping music and you seeing what hits where. And you're routing your tours and you're diverting your attention and your resources to the areas that are picking up on those records. And it might be 3 records over here. It might be 2 completely different ones over here.
Right.
You got to be ready to support both and know your customer. Man, you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Sales for years and know your customer, know who you selling to.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Rapper nowadays, you got to be a promoter. You have to be a marketer. You have to be a social. You have to be a social. You be able to be a social person. I mean, the things that you have to do nowadays as an artist, you have to wear many hats to be able to be a decent rapper nowadays and become something nowadays. Because you just can't go out with what you're doing in your words anymore. You got to know who you're rapping to, who you're rapping, what your demographics of people that you're rapping, especially if you're not in Atlanta or New York and stuff. You're here. You have to make music for the people that's here. And we're only, 6% of Phoenix?
Yeah, at best. Well, here's the thing, though. You want to be all of those things.
Right.
Like, it's funny because when the labels ran everything, niggas was like, man, fuck the labels. The labels hold niggas down, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now the labels have very limited power, right? They can take you to the nth degree, but you can get from 0 to 100 by yourself. The problem now is niggas beg for it. Okay, you got it.
The filter's broken now, though.
Now who has to do the work, right? Nigga, you got to do the work. You know what I'm saying? That was what the label was doing before. So, you know, it's that kind of thing. You know, I think it's one of those be careful what you wish for type things. But the niggas that want it, go get it. Yeah, and those are the successful ones.
Yeah, it's a grind though. It's a grind, man. It ain't no game right now. This era, it's a grind.
Yeah, it is. I think one of the artists that have figured it out was I think Futuristic figured it out.
Oh yeah,
he was one of the he was one of the artists that did figure it out. A lot of people was upset with the way he did his, but it's his career. But you know what I'm saying? But hey, he was smart. He knew the demographics of the city. He knew who to go after.
That's one thing he didn't know the demographics of the city, man. He did his research.
Right.
Well, you know what else? He figured out that visuals make the difference.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We out of the MP3 era.
Right.
Now, if you drop a record, you need a visual.
Definitely.
I don't give a fuck if it's you rapping in your kitchen. You need something for people to be able to associate it to.
Definitely.
Didn't hurt that his best friend and roommate or whatever was his videographer, right?
Right.
He used to wake up and shoot 5 videos a day.
That's dope.
It's a good problem to have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
So, you know, when you drop a visual for every record, you should. You know what I'm saying? If you about your salt, you know what I'm saying, and you halfway decent and futuristic is an excellent MC. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he did it just right. I think if I could have asked anything more futuristic with regard to the town, because again, it's his career, you do what you want. I would have loved to see him wave that Arizona flag from time to time. Right. That's me personally. But I get it that doesn't always play to your advantage in the industry, right? You know that, and I feel like, and I've seen some of what he does on Instagram, so I can appreciate it.
I feel like he's coming back.
I feel like it's time for him to come back. I feel like, you figured it out, right?
But
you got a blueprint.
Time, his fan base didn't care about that,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, we did. You know what I'm saying? We did, but. His fans.
Well, now you got the blueprint. Come roll it out. Come show this.
Show
you know
what
I'm saying? Teach him, and he does.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen when he helped him and Super Duper Kyle were working together.
Yeah.
J Rob.
Yeah.
He's worked with Mickey. He's worked with Judge. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of cats that I see that are learning from futuristic and working through them. So it's a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see him. You know, he's doing the hip hop festival now. So he's definitely.
I think Zach is a really good dude, and I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. We may have done things differently, but I think he did it right for him.
Definitely.
All right, boss. We're gonna let's do a top 5 with you. Let's do a top 5 with you. What I want to do. Let's do your current top 5 songs that you play right now on the BeatLocker.
On the BeatLocker, top 5 or my favorite 5? Because
current top 5.
So one thing we actually are about to start doing in 2020 is a chart. So we'll be doing a top 10.
Okay.
Top 5 that we playing right now. Markel Delwan, You.
I'm saying that's my favorite.
Hot. I saw Markel the other day. We ran into each other leaving Arizona Mills. He's such a just a young, humble dude.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there thinking, like, I was just bumping your shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, and he's like, hey, bro, how you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, man, please stay just like that.
Yeah, stay, man.
Because you're going to go far, man.
We sometimes when we're doing the podcast, we hear him recording.
Yeah, man. He's
a glimpse of the preview. You know what I mean?
I think Markel is one of the best artists to set foot out of Arizona ever. Just in the small body of work that I've heard. I hope he continues it.
Yeah, man.
I like his character. He's a good dude.
Mickey Zobel. Shit. I really like every record we play at Mickey's. Right now we got one called Hate to Break It to You with him and AJP, formerly Andy Savage.
Okay.
That's fire. Ali Dominique. He's got a record called Big Mad with Young Zay.
That man put in work all the time.
Always.
There's a girl named Reagan Capace.
Okay.
She sings. She sounds like a young Macy Gray meets Amy Winehouse.
Oh, I like that.
She's got some. I say young because she's got some work to do, but girl's dope. She's got a record called Milk that we playing right now. It's crazy. And to round it out.
These are all names y'all need to check out.
Shit, man. I don't know. There's so many. I mean, Scrooge Boy has a record called Life. That's crazy.
He that real hip hop. He that real hip hop.
Yo Westwood. He's got one with I Am Love off this Dreams Are Cheap, Execution Is Expensive CD.
Always putting in work. OG there.
Man, I mean, like, there's so many. Shout out to Trap House. Always rest in peace.
Definitely.
Checking Traps, man. If y'all have
oh hell yeah, man.
That Dreams Are Cheap, Execution Is Expensive.
We were pushing. He did an intro for us, and he was one of the original people that helped promote our podcast.
Definitely a favorite for the show.
He's got there's a record on there called My Way with Dame Luke and Louis the Third. It's crazy. That Dope Fiends with Rico Bands.
That's the album.
You think album of the year? Yeah, I'll agree. That's album of the year.
Ooh, let's see.
That's album of the year, and then I think is the song of the year.
I don't know, man. J-Rob the Chief dropped the album early this year. I think maybe it was the end of last year.
That's the one with the balloon, right? When you saw on the balloon.
Yeah. He had some burners on.
Yes, that was
J-Rob.
He's a humble dude, man.
He's ready to go.
Yeah.
He, I don't know what hurdles are in his way or what's stopping him, but I think J-Rob should have been out.
That last record he dropped with the video, I ain't never had a video touch me, man.
Got you.
Huh?
Yeah,
he got you.
He touched me, man. I was like, dang.
Dude was talented, man.
One more record. My bad, because J-Rob's got a record with Mac DeFaro called Check.
Mm-hmm.
That motherfucker is smoking.
See?
Yeah, it's a good record.
Most definitely. Yeah, it's a lot of good music this year.
It is.
You know what?
Man.
Whenever I got a hard time picking records, I feel like we in the right direction.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So I remember I used to be like, fuck, I gotta play this shit. You know what I'm saying? When we first started, the first 2 years of B-Lock, I was like, oh boy. But yeah, man, it's crazy right now.
All right, we got a game for you right now. We're gonna do some trivia. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get it. You know. All right, so we got 5 questions for you.
Uh-oh.
Get 3 right.
Okay.
We'll donate $50 to your charity of choice.
Oh, okay.
But if you don't donate.
It's a deal.
All right.
So 3 out of 5?
3 out of 5.
Oh, that's good odds.
We need a wall of shame.
I know, right?
Yeah, we do.
And need a wall of fame too. So
yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can do a whoever got all of them right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Ooh, like a tournament of champions.
Right. Yeah.
Boom.
That'll be dope.
All right. So question number 1. What rapper judged the DJ battle in the film Juice?
Oh, I know this one. I know this one. You got lifelines, yeah.
Just so you know, you got lifelines.
I know.
I do have lifelines.
Rapper. Damn, I ain't seen Juice in a long time.
Right.
No, that's not too much.
No, that's not.
It's a rapper.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
You find her sexy?
You're a clown. You're a clown, man. Hey, you're a clown. You have to climb that.
I'm a little man.
You find her sexy in that one?
Queen Latifah.
There you go.
There we go. He got it.
There we go.
They been gave him so many dang hits.
Right.
Nate's a fool.
Question 2.
She's a tall tree to chop down.
Right.
Yeah. God bless her.
You know, gonna jump on that back. Nate's a fool, man. I think he like girls, man. Does she like girls?
Pretty sure.
She does.
Yeah,
Pretty sure.
she ain't checking.
I think she's bi, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, she thinks.
She got
I like a challenge. Well, like I done changed some minds.
They like that Queen. They like that Queen Latifah set it off.
Cleo. So I want the Cleo. I don't want ladies first Queen Latifah.
Oh man, he's a damn.
What Post Malone hit, first released via SoundCloud, resulted in a contract with Republic Records?
White Iverson.
Yeah.
That was an easy one. That was an easy one.
I do radio.
That's crazy.
What y'all think of Post, man?
I don't like Post.
Nah.
I think he's R&B. I don't really think he's a rapper. I think he's just pop.
I just I think I'm gonna be real. He what they call them industry peoples.
He's just a pop artist. He's a decent pop artist, man. He make good songs. You got to give it to
industry
him.
Plant. Industry plant.
But if you ever look at his old videos, he made country music. He's always been making all type music, man. So
I think dude is an incredible talent.
Yeah, man.
Right? He's done what you're supposed to do, and that is make it hard to classify you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So motherfuckers, they don't know if they should like him or not. Well, I think I like him. I don't like hip hop, but I love the singing shit. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And somehow this motherfucker, you know,
hey man,
he looked like a maintenance man somewhere.
I just it's not my
killing it. Yeah,
Killing
you know what?
it,
It's funny thing. My bad. We'll get back to the game. I'm sorry. I talk a lot. But I used to be like, man, fuck, I hate that shit. I don't listen to that Post Malone shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like I'll be like, well, you know what? That Psycho shit is all right. And then I'm like, man, you know what? That Sunflower shit is all right. You know, and then before I know it, I'm nodding to like 7 Post Malone. So I'm like, fuck, man, how did I end up liking Post Malone?
I mean,
I got programmed.
I'm not gonna say he's whack. I mean, there's a couple songs I do. You know,
dude is an amazing songwriter.
He's a good songwriter.
He's a definitely amazing songwriter, man.
He's like a hip hop yodeler.
Yeah, man.
Is he writing those songs?
I think he is. He's been
I don't
doing
believe. Nah, he's got a team.
That's what I'm saying. He has a team.
I think he has a hand in what he's doing.
He has a credit.
Right.
He has a writing credit.
Definitely.
But I don't think he's right.
But everybody
somebody editing what he writes.
Even Tupac
now, if
had
he
a
is
team.
and I'm wrong, I would love to be wrong because then I feel like, well, bravo.
Right.
right, yeah.
Maintenance man, good job.
Maintenance man.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's right.
Question 3. Feeling Myself is a Nicki Minaj song featuring what singer?
Beyonce.
Yep.
Man, how you 3 for a 3?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be in good company. That's my core DJ brother. Shout out core DJs.
Yep. He'll be the second one to get 5 for 5.
Yeah.
If you get them all right.
What's that? Which one?
Question 4.
That's that.
What hip hop artist is featured on Busta Rhymes' 2009 release, Hustler's Anthem 09?
Busta Rhymes. Hustler's Anthem. I want to say Wayne, but it's not Wayne. Hip hop artist.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it an R&B singer? Can I ask that?
It's a hip hop artist.
What's the question again?
What hip hop artist is featured on Busta Rhymes' 2009 release, Hustler's Anthem 09?
I sure didn't know this.
Man, I know the record. I'm trying to think through the record right now. I'm gonna say Akon.
You are incorrect.
Oh,
The answer is T-Pain.
He's an R&B artist, so
You know what? It could go either way.
yeah, he is kind of.
I should have known about a date.
Hold on, what you got there, Nate? I just heard a snap. What you got there, Nate? I heard a snap down there. What you got?
Hey,
10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my goodness!
You gotta get it started sometime. 10 o'clock might as well work.
Hey man,
Gotta have that one before
Damn it,
lunch.
John Blaze. I missed that one. That's okay. That's all right.
John Blaze was the one he did it all the way, no help or nothing.
No help.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nah,
He didn't use a single lifeline.
I challenged him a couple times.
I should have used my lifeline.
you still got one?
All right.
Yeah, he still has one lifeline.
Yeah.
Last question.
Ooh.
What MC says the following lyrics? You like a daytime talk show, and that's low. So you can tell everyone I'm jerking you.
Mm.
And if you don't like it, kid, then take it personal.
Oh, Guru.
There you go.
Got 4 for 5.
Yeah, man, that's dope. That's the first thing I said to Guru. And
That's
she
the
was
first
like,
4 or 5.
wrong.
Yeah.
I told her
That
last night, I
hurts.
was like, Guru. Like, wrong. That's wrong.
I'm on your ass, John Blaze. Next time, I will come prepared.
He's like, no fair.
He said he got to study a little bit more.
Yeah, so what foundation would you like
Yeah.
to?
So, what charity are we donating to?
I would like. I don't know. Can I just say? Can you get $50 sandwiches and give them to 50 hungry people on the street?
Definitely.
Do that.
Definitely. Hey, yeah.
I'll pay the tax.
We're always out doing something, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard
definitely
it.
throw an extra on top. We plan on doing some a lot of philanthropy this upcoming year anyway.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? To make sure that we give back to the city.
Yeah,
make sure
I
we
come.
show
Me and Marvel will come
appreciation.
pass them out with y'all.
Yeah,
Okay,
man.
well,
Definitely.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, I'll be up. All right, y'all. We're gonna get into sit the F down with Nate real quick.
Ooh, we haven't had one.
What?
What? No, sit the F
No,
down?
no, sit the.
It must be a special one a day.
Good shit.
It's okay.
What? Did you get some this morning? Why is this such a good mood?
He said, "Did you get some this morning?"
Are you in a really good mood?
Tita is a fool.
I feel good, yes.
It's fair.
I feel good.
This is the happy Nate.
Go ahead,
No,
Tita.
it's the end of the year. It's the last show of the year.
For sure.
End it off on not a negative note.
All right.
Like Tip the Up Down can be a little negative, depending on who you are.
Right.
No, I don't have a City Up Down this week. I have a Stand the F Up.
Okay.
That's for Kanye dropping this new.
Oh, here this guy go.
I love it. I don't care. I don't care how you feel about Kanye West. This is my time. It's amazing. I love it. Like
This is my time.
They found Jesus.
That's the thing they gonna hate me.
Ooh.
Nice, man.
I'm not religious or anything. I just like the music. I just like the music.
Hey.
Like it's nothing to do with who the person is or
Huh.
Kanye West. I just love the music. Like the music
Man.
is good. I grew up in.
You gonna have a MAGA hat on next week?
No.
Yeah,
I said, like I don't.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
politics.
Hey, he kicked you
So
in
you
the knee.
listen
I do like
Okay.
the new. I like the. Was it Jesus Born?
Jesus,
I like Jesus Born better than Jesus Came.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I like him both.
This dude, I don't know, man. I think it's all a facade for money. You know what I'm
I hope
saying?
it ain't that at all.
I just don't believe none of it.
You don't need no money.
I don't believe it. I don't believe him.
You know what? Oddly enough, I believe, dude.
You believe him?
I do.
I don't believe
I
it.
think he's been in the industry. I think he's seen some shit.
Yeah.
And I think that
How can you be?
it has brought him back around.
How can you say I see
yeah?
Jesus and then say I support Trump? I just don't see those two things being in the same
Maybe
realm.
it's not fully
If you
all of
follow the teachings of Jesus, Jesus,
Y'all done started one.
it.
Jesus would go the opposite way of Donald Trump.
Now,
And we all know
hold on.
this.
Well, hold on. That's if we fair.
Mhm.
A lot of us say we follow Jesus
Right.
and do the opposite daily.
Daily.
Definitely.
Daily.
I am a staunch Trump hater. I think
Definitely.
Trump is a terrible piece of shit.
Right.
I do. But I do also understand how someone could support and follow Trump, given the fact that it's all fucked up, right?
Right.
So we, they pit us Democrat versus Republican, black versus white, right? They create those lines because you got to keep it separated. Last thing they want is for us to come together.
Definitely.
The Democrats are just as fucked up and shady as Trump. The shit, if you look at the shit Biden, Clinton, the other Clinton, Obama, all the shit that they've done, that they've really done, right, as opposed to the pomp and circumstance, all of them are terrible fucking people, right? Obama killed so many fucking kids in Yemen and Syria and shit, right? And if you are a human being, right, we don't have to be in most of these wars that we're in. It's to gain position, it's to gain oil, it's to right. It's not in defense of. It's an offensive, right? That they have to present to us to get the people's backing.
Right.
And so when I look at people that support Trump, aside from the redneck piece of shit racist motherfuckers, right? They're out there.
I like the side of you, just to let you know.
What do you say?
I said I like the side of you.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm
just
gonna hear you like this,
right. So aside from them, because we know who they are, right? They are all the closet racists that came out because they think it's cool now, right? But you also have this group of people that don't know what to think or who to believe, and we've been done wrong for so many years by establishment. Even though I am anti-Trump, I understand how someone could be anti-establishment, anti-pattern, right? Democrats ain't done shit for niggas.
No.
Nothing. We still holding hands, singing songs, marching, picketing and shit, getting beat up in the street, right? All this shit's happening. All these suits, right? All these people, you got Elijah Cummings and all, rest in peace. He was a great man for what he had done.
But that's one thing I say though. I mean, we say Democrats have done nothing, but if you look at the demographics of each party, they are at least giving black people the power to be able to change their situation themselves.
While implementing toxic.
Are they?
If you are voting for someone and you putting someone in power, you have the control of this person that's in power. We are not taking the power that we have to put these people and make them responsible.
So yes,
if Elijah Cummings is running an area that's bad and dirty, if the people in the area is not saying, "Hey, Elijah Cummings, come clean this shit up," he's not going to do anything different.
That's fair, but where the disconnect is in who's managing the money and the budgets. Some people are saying, "Come clean this shit up." They're saying, "All right, we're going to allocate this amount of money," and some of that money never reaches it. Right. I'm not speaking specifically in Elijah Cummings and or as a career and a life and as a whole, I think Elijah Cummings was a great man.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Congress and the current political system is fucked. It's garbage,
right?
The one thing I will say about Donald Trump, right, versus Barack Obama, and remind you, I voted for Obama twice.
Definitely.
I am a Democrat on paper, right? But Trump got in and said, "I want to help my people," right? So he instilled policies and put in place policies that help rich white folks, his people, right? I didn't see Obama come in and say, "Hey, now that I'm president, I am president of the United States. I can do what the fuck I want to a certain extent," which is what we're seeing, right? I didn't see him come in and put all of this amazing policy to directly help and affect black folks to the positive, right? And I haven't seen
on the other side of that. I always say that not to cut you off, but I always say that he couldn't president for us, because we weren't the only people that put him in power.
I get
so
that.
it's a country of all. So
but
he
Donald Trump,
unfortunately, Donald Trump can do that.
He is, and he's doing it. And my point is not that what he's doing is right per se. My point is that he went out on a limb to do it because he felt that strongly about the people he supports and that supported him. And I feel like I get it, because I agree, and I've taken that same stance, and I still do believe the president is for all people, right? But it would have been nice to see Barack Obama say, "Hey, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna do this, and I'll just have to deal with the backlash." Right now, granted, he is a master politician and a stand-up guy. Right, outside of office and all that shit, right? So I wouldn't expect that. That's not his character, right?
And that's another thing I always say to people too. The political machine cannot be changed by one president. One president is not going to change the direction of this country and what this country has been headed for 400 years. You know what I'm saying? Politically, you know what I mean? Congress, Senate, all that is in the Constitution. The Constitution is not ever going to change. So we have to figure out how we have to implement power for us by making changes the way they unfortunately have it set up.
Out, man. All this people talking about this revolution shit, man. I feel like, hey, look, I get it. I get it. I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the same thing. I know the injustices there, all of that shit.
Definitely.
If we pick up arms and try to go at these motherfuckers, they are going to slaughter all of us.
All of us.
There is no way to launch a successful revolution against anyone in 2019 that way. Name one rebellion that has worked or won. Right? Not one. I can't think of one in recent time. I say that to say we focus on the wrong issues, right? I'd love reparations, right? I think we deserve them. I think it should be what it goes without saying. But that's not going to happen. So instead of rallying for reparations, how about let's rally for term limits? So we can get some of these motherfuckers out of office, right? Whose sole job is to prevent policy from going into place to benefit us, right? Your Mitch McConnells, your Lindsey Grahams, right? These pieces of shit.
It's been there
politicians that are just sitting there, right? We got to wait for these old white men to
before we get them out of office
in order to shuffle and to modernize politics, and that's crazy, man.
That is crazy. That's insane. What I'm saying? I agree there should be term limits, but they are slow to change anything out of that damn Constitution.
Like, the Constitution is bullshit.
It's been wrong. It was several times. It
was great framework, but it was written by a bunch of fucking white slave owners sitting around. We weren't even people. When they wrote the Constitution. So how the fuck does that apply to us?
You know what I'm saying? We've amended the Constitutions many times.
Yeah, they didn't consider us people.
So it's certain things can definitely be changed, but they're slow to change that Constitution.
Yeah, man. It is what it is.
Anything
all we really can do is take care of our families. Trust God, work, do the right thing, and buy a fucking pistol.
I mean, we'll just take this into the lean perspective. I'm gonna
exercise your Second Amendment rights.
Definitely. I believe, and everybody get mad at me about that. I talk about guns, and
do they?
Yeah, people get pissed because I'm a anti-gun. That's why I do a lot of guns stuff. But I don't believe that people shouldn't have guns to protect themselves. But what I believe in is that we have to change our mentality on guns. Our mentality is that shoot first, ask question later. Guns solve all problems. That I got my gun with me. We just think we're tough with guns. We don't have guns for sport and just to protect the home. We're taking the guns outside of the home, and we just the whole mentality with guns.
We have to.
Walmart get shot up, and
right.
58 people die for no reason, or a gay club get shot up.
I just don't. Right.
Or you go to the movies, right?
If we didn't have the mentality that we have with guns, we wouldn't have these problems that we have.
The hard part with guns is everybody has to agree to drop their gun at the same time.
Right.
Right. As long as one has a gun, if one man has one, I need one.
Right.
Right. Because I feel like as long as one man has one, he has the advantage. Yeah. Guns were created to level the playing field. Right. The small, short, fat, bald, broke. Right. All they need is a pistol, and all of a sudden, right, they can sit wherever they want to. Same way currency was created to level the playing field.
I always ask the question, though, why do we have this mentality and other countries do not? The only reason we have this mentality is because we have this freedom that's been written into our Constitution.
Well, we were built on a revolution.
If we were born in China, we wouldn't have this mentality of, oh, these people might have weapons, then we're going to kill them, because no one has weapons. So we don't even, it doesn't even come into our mind.
They just get stabbed. Here's the thing, right?
But everybody has swords, so you can stab them back. You know what I'm saying? So it's a level playing field.
But same with, here's the thing: you can own a pistol, right? You can own a pistol. You can carry it concealed. The idea behind the citizens militia, right, is in order to have a free country, in order to enjoy these freedoms, we have to have an armed militia, right? That's how you keep the government in balance.
Right.
That's how you keep from getting.
But
invaded.
we know that that's not true anymore, because we know that right now the armed militia of fat shitty fucks like us wouldn't do shit against the government right now.
Only because we ain't training, right? But there's some white folks right now up in
they are
running drills in the
they
force.
Would lose also,
right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. Lose. It just is what it is.
We've seen them lose to the government,
and they would. The truth is, the government has something they can push a button, kill everybody, right?
Right, exactly. They got nuclear weapons.
However, if you have the right, exercise your right. That's how I feel. Because someone else is exercising, and you are immediately at a disadvantage.
Definitely.
And unfortunately, I would love for it to be this utopian society, but it's not. And there's somebody today that left the house with the purpose of keeping a black man like one of us from giving back to our daughter or our mother or our wife. And I refuse to not make it home.
No, that's real.
It is.
That's real. I mean, I always say, man, I don't carry because, when I did carry, I'm saying, I had a different outlook on life, and things just wasn't working out for me that when I carried. Things just, it wasn't good for me to carry, dog.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm gonna say it. You know what I mean?
Fair.
It just wasn't good for me to carry. It's not good for everyone to carry. It was not good for me to carry. You know
I carried a pistol since I was 16 years old. And so, but I get it. I shouldn't have always carried.
Right.
Right. There was a time where it would have been good if somebody took my pistol from me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I've also learned some lessons, God willing, and God's grace, the right way and not the hard way. And I think it's one of it's a personal decision. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't think there's anyone there to teach kids what's the right way to carry. When's the right time to carry?
It's some people out there.
I just don't think that we're teaching that. I don't think that we just letting these kids get guns. I had a gun at 14. I had a little 22 Derringer. You know what I'm saying? I said it all the time. As a little kid,
shotgun, I got stitches for it. I told my mama I jumped over the fence, and that's why we had to go to the hospital.
Right.
Like I was a junior in high school on some dumb shit.
Yeah, I shot myself.
And I got caught. I had a little 25. I got caught with it working in Arby's at Metro Center.
Yeah.
Right.
They took my gun. It was serial number was scratched off. They paraded me through Metro and zip ties.
Yeah.
Oh, you
got
lucky,
all kind
man.
of shit. But you live and you learn.
Right.
So now it's all legal.
Yeah. Yeah, man. All right, we got into that was part of the legal perspective, man. You know what I'm saying?
My bad, man. I talk too much.
No, I like that.
No, that's what we talk about here, man.
Yeah, that's what this podcast.
Underforest.com. hierarchy is set up. Exactly. You know the hierarchy with a job. When you get there, you know the leaders, you know the losers. Exactly. It don't matter what goes on. And if you don't find out where you fit in fast, you're gonna have issues in life. Government is a whole bunch of individual motherfuckers trying to get to where they got to get. They will be cutthroat, scandalous, do what they got to do to get where they.
With the year coming to an end and this being the last episode of the year, I wanted to talk about some of the things that's happened in this decade. One of the first things that happened in 2010 is Disney had officially crowned its first African-American Disney princess, believe it or not.
Hey, yay.
You know what I'm saying? 2010, we finally getting a Disney princess. That's pretty ridiculous.
You know what? It is. But
hey.
See, I'm always devil's advocate. It's progress, man.
Right.
I think it's so important. I catch chicks only by my daughter black dolls. Right. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. It's not because I have a problem with white dolls. No, yeah. Not at all. It's because at that age, those things give them their perception of beauty.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so this Disney princess is such a big win for young black girls. You know, it's hard for me to be mad that it took 100 years to get it.
Right.
You know, but when I see my little niece and my daughter look at, you know, Tiana and Moana for that matter.
Definitely.
You know, just, you know, Mulan, all the princesses of color, Jasmine. I feel like, yeah.
Definitely.
That's beautiful too. You know what I'm saying? So
I think, that's definitely a positive, man. You know,
But fuck Disney for taking so long.
Man, it took a long time, man. August 3rd, 2000, Obama put into the First Sentencing Act, which reduced sentencing disparity between crack and powder cocaine to which was an 18-to-1 ratio back then. So he put that in, and which was at one time we was all going to jail. Crack was you was going to jail for crack more than you would for coke. Right. So that helped us out when he did that.
I think that's you know, in all of my slander about Obama and what he did or didn't do for black folks, that was a big step. It's a weird backhanded step. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, you know, or tighten up the restrictions on powder.
Right.
So you know, I mean, essentially, you said, hey, let's lax everything to the white man's sentence. I feel like, or let's crack down and throw some of them motherfuckers in jail. Yeah. But then again, you know, that's just me bitching.
And 2011 and August, the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial on the National Mall opened up to DC and DC for the public, and it was officially dedicated on October 16th. So that's pretty cool. I want to go to that and go check that out, man.
Yeah, I cried when I was out there. At that,
yeah, it was pretty dope, man. I want to check it out, man. I know it's dope.
That to be in Washington is dope. You know what I'm saying? With Lincoln, Jefferson. You know what I mean?
November 19th, 2011, Kenneth Chamberlain Sr. was killed in White Plains in New York after his Life Aid medical alert necklace inadvertently triggered police. They came to his home and demanded that he open the front door. Despite his objections and statements that he did not need help, the police broke down the door, Chamberlain's door, tasered him, and then fatally shot him. This was one of the first things that started rolling the ball for Black Lives Matter and things like that. So this was one of the first killings that the people started really tripping off of, and this was in 2011. And that was in 2011 November. Then the next year, 2012, was when the Trayvon Martin case happened, and then, you know, that became a big deal.
Man, well, why was somebody run over Zimmerman already? Can't believe ain't nobody killed that motherfucker yet. I'm sorry, I don't wish death on anybody, and you know, of course, I'm not inciting or asking that anybody do it. But man, he's so disrespectful, man. You know, auctioning off the gun. Now he's suing the family.
Right, man.
I just feel like you have got to be kidding me right now. You know what I'm saying?
We had I didn't know this, that Malcolm Shabazz in May 2013 he was killed in Mexico. Malcolm X's son. I did not know that either, man.
Me neither.
He was killed. And did you also know that he set Betty Shabazz on fire as a kid?
Her son?
Malcolm X's son.
Yeah, I think I heard about that.
I didn't know that, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. He was a kid. He did it as a mistake, I guess. He said, it was his grandmother, and he was a kid, and he set a fire to the house, and she died in the fire. Then he ended up getting killed in Mexico. It's crazy as fuck, man.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, man. So these are some of the things that went over, and what that was the next year. Zimmerman got away with the case. We also had in the Kimani Gray shooting. That was another one that triggered protests.
Yeah, man,
so this is all the things that end up coming up to which, you know what I'm saying, the Black Lives Matter. It was 2014 was Michael Brown. You know what I'm saying? Zimmerman got away in 2013. And that was the one that made the Black Lives Matter start, was Zimmerman.
Yeah.
If y'all know, I didn't remember that for sure. It's been so long, dude. And from that we had Ferguson. Yeah.
Shit just makes me sad, man. Just
sad,
thinking
man.
about it. It's just crazy.
We had a really crazy decade, man.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of, first, and we did take a lot of steps forward. But this was a crazy decade. You know what I'm saying? A lot of crazy stuff happened. But at least we are able to start seeing some justice, because a lot of things have changed from the beginning of the decade to the end with the police cameras now. Yeah. They didn't have that at first. You know what I'm saying? And now, body cams and they are holding a lot more police officers accountable for what Black Lives Matter's done. You got to give them credit, man. They changed things for a lot of people, man. And that's what I'm saying. People say that all this shouting and all this stuff don't do anything. You're absolutely wrong, man. And they have made changes. And my question is, what can we do to make more changes? What do you guys think needs to be implemented to make it even more fair for people to feel more safe when they're getting pulled over by these by officers?
Right.
What do y'all
mean?
Y'all watching?
Yeah.
There's an episode where the cop, I think it's the first episode, the cop has to call the dispatch to release his gun.
Yeah.
The gun stays in the car. I would love to see that happen.
I said that when I seen that.
Them in a little, I don't know, that might be controversial, but like that was
that was
smart and dope to me. Like, why is that not
implemented everywhere? Right. Definitely.
Because they got tasers, they got mace. It ain't like you can't. If somebody in the car does have a real issue with you,
it'd be tough in America, putting them in danger, and everyone has guns. So that'll be tough here. Yeah. Because everybody has guns, so that'll be tough. You know what I'm saying? And then the situation in the show in The Watchmen, the officer ended up getting killed. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, not really a good analogy, right? It took so long for them to release the gun. He ended up getting killed.
To me, if these officers if they're that scared and that concerned that they have to go into these traffic stops with the intent on pulling their weapon in a traffic stop, right, then they're in the wrong field,
right.
I think that we are giving, and I actually support the police. I feel like they have a shitty job, and nobody likes the police until you fucking need the police.
That's real.
And I without sounding like some weird fucking conservative record skipping, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not all bad.
Right.
I've had some police actually throw me a bone when they could have taken my ass.
Hell
to jail.
yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
But I think we are pretending as though because their job is difficult that they didn't sign up for this fucking job.
Right.
And so I feel like, hey, I get it. But the same way I expect the army man to get up, straighten his shit up, put his gun on, and go do what he came to do because that's his job.
Right.
Right.
I expect the police to do the same thing. And so I feel like, hey man, if you that scared of brothers that you have to pull your gun anytime you pull a brother over,
right?
Then you should be behind the desk.
Definitely
man.
Should be in this.
You know what I'm saying? And put the ones out there that understand the human component and the human condition, and are ready to de-escalate instead of escalate situations. Man. You know what I'm saying? Real. You're gonna have bad folks. You're gonna have motherfuckers that shoot the cop in the face as soon as they walk up to the window. That's gonna happen. Right. It's very fucking rare, and is not nearly all black folk.
Right.
If I'd venture to say, probably a very small fraction of
Definitely.
That. When we start talking about who's committing the violent crimes with guns, fact of the matter is only in urban cities do they calculate those numbers. When we start talking about gun violence, white men are behind
definitely
the majority of it. You know what I'm saying? That stat just doesn't get reported.
Right.
So I mean,
well, it's reported differently because it's suicide, domestic, those things aren't reported as
there's no white on white crime.
Right. Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
but they are doing it. Domestic women, unfortunately, is usually the people who see the most gun violence.
Yep, definitely. So, guess Sister Social gonna take over. For me, fellas.
Take it over.
We're gonna do our meal of the week this week.
Yeah.
We have here some chicken wonton tacos.
Okay.
Oh, this is good, man.
Look,
I'm sorry that the meat is cold. Our microwave is out, so we're gonna have to get a new microwave to put in here to heat the meat. But it's just basically, I just did some coleslaw, made the dressing, and I did stir fry and sesame oil with the chicken, and I ground the chicken, and that was it. I made the wontons in the oven using the bottom side of the muffin tin.
So, would you be offended if I told you that I don't eat meat?
No, I would not.
Okay. So it actually looks delicious. It does. I don't not eat meat for religious reasons, but I haven't eaten meat in like 3 years.
Oh, wow.
with a very few exceptions, and I eat seafood from time to time.
Word.
But I'm gonna taste it though, because it looks delicious.
Okay.
And I know you put your work into it.
Sure, you don't eat meat, Tita will eat it.
I mean, at least taste it.
We'll sort something out here. Don't worry.
No, sure, it's delicious.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna I'm gonna kind of skip the
I don't know what's going on with
this one. I'm gonna kind of skip the word on the street news.
I had no choice. I didn't have. Then I dare you to do that shit. How the hell do you let that man in Washington update my fucking story? There's no fucking excuse for it.
But I ain't want to gossip, so you ain't heard that from me.
This week, but I just want to say that Pokafase, thank you for coming.
Appreciate you,
so
bro.
much for having me.
Honored,
I
man.
appreciate it. It's dope because you're our last guest of the year, man.
Yep.
And I appreciate you for coming in. I know you're busy, man.
Definitely.
I want to thank.
It's an honor to be here, man.
Yep. I want to thank you, Dip, Aisha, Tita, Nate. You know, this is it's been 6 months.
Yeah.
For us doing this podcast. And
yeah, man.
I thank y'all for sticking with us. You know,
Definitely.
to get all together. You know, we're a team, we're a family,
Definitely.
and we're going into 2020, and hopefully we can continue and kill everybody's show.
Yeah, man.
Kill everybody's show.
We coming for the #1 spot, man.
We take it over.
That's right. That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? About to get Funk Flex on them. Man, I appreciate everybody. You know, it's been 6 months, and we've been through a lot of changes in the 6 months in the studio. Different how we doing the segments and everything. So you know, we the interviews in it. So it's been great, man. So I'm gonna
man.
Hopefully we can continue and keep growing.
We will.
Man, I'd love to come back, man. Anytime, y'all just let me know.
Definitely, man.
Yes,
Hell yeah, we love to have you, dog.
But 2020, y'all gonna see something different. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. It's gonna
be a celebration.
Oh man, it's gonna be dope.
Yeah, man.
Pop champagne. Man, and Tita, do you have your order of the day? Tita ain't even.
What's that?
Right.
Tita, you eating?
Right. Soon as we said we live. Soon as it said we live, she was done talking.
Yeah, she
I was like, all right.
She had so much to say.
Yeah,
she was on the thousand.
Tita talked today, though. I give her 5.5.
You did? Oh, okay.
What's the call today, Tita?
All right. Let me see. Okay.
Get that meaning back in.
Right.
I got a lot of meaning there.
I'm gonna let y'all know, we just came back in town like 2 hours ago.
Team no sleep for a week.
No sleep. Yeah.
Wow.
Except last week and a
You
couple
should have
hours.
your quote. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Be kind. Be loving. Be kind to the world. Be loving to the world. Be helpful to the world. You never know who needs help or who's going through a rough time. It's easy to be kind.
Being kind to me, take your words. Yo, it's the Daniel and Tita podcast.
I am not a crook.
We out.
Peace.
We just interviewed Pokafase, yo.
That was
dope,
shit,
man. Thank you.
I'm like, is that the guy that's on thing? He's saying like, hey, Pokafase. Where's the 101 beat?
The voice.